What do you think of the role Newgarden played in the race, and do you see more sports car racing starts in his future?
I do, and I think you look at some of the great IndyCar drivers of the past and the success that they've had in this race. For Josef Newgarden to be able to follow in their footsteps and to do so in the same within the same not calendar year, I guess, but same 365-day period that he's the defending Indianapolis 500 champion. He now gets a Rolex watch to go with that. I mean, it's just an incredible career that this guy has put together. And I said on our Indy 500 post race show yesterday that the Indy 500 to me was the last big crowning achievement that he needed to cement his career. And he's gone out and added even another one here in an entirely different discipline in the sport, 24-hour sports car endurance racing. So you look at the body of work that Newgarden has put together. He's certainly on track at only 33 years old, like you mentioned, Joe, to go down in history as one of the all-time greats in this sport. And I look forward to seeing what he could accomplish, maybe as far as 10 to 15 years in the future here still with the amount of time he's going to have left in his career. So a great victory for him today again, and I think only further cements his legacy as one of this generation's best.
I totally agree, Ben. I don't really have much else to add there, but definitely Josef Newgarden is one of the best drivers of this generation. He could just retire right now, and he'd already have a Hall of Fame racing career. But he's still, like Joe mentioned, he's just 33 years old, still has quite a few years left in his racing career. So I'm sure Josef Newgarden is going to continue to add to that legacy, add more wins, more championships, and we'll have to see where it goes from here. But I thought he did a really good job. And this year's Rolex 24 fulfilled his drive time. He kept the car clean. He was really fast. I watched him during the nighttime hours last night, and he kept the car up front, didn't put a wheel wrong, and just did exactly what he was supposed to do as a co-driver. I know Joseph was being modest during his TV interviews, been like, "Hey, I just showed up, and it was just my co-drivers who did much of the work." But Joseph deserves, just a lot of credit, just as much as his other teammates, because in endurance racing, it's a team sport. Each driver has to do their role. Each strategist, each member on the pit crew. It takes a whole village to make this all go around. So Porsche, Penske, Motorsport, this whole organization deserves a lot of credit for everything that happened in this race to ultimately end up with them at the top step of the podium and getting their Rolex watches. So I thought Josef Newgarden did really well in the factory Porsche GTP car. And in regards to future starts in sports car racing, I think we're going to see him in a lot more sports car races in the future. Unfortunately, Porsche is not going to work out for this year because they're going with their factory drivers in the endurance roles this year, and we're not going to be able to see those 4-driver lineups, so there won't be a role for Josef Newgarden in the GTP class with Porsche, Penske, Motorsport. But after winning the Rolex 24, maybe he'll bug Roger Penske to try to get him in a seat at the 24 Hours of Le Mans next to try to win that one overall. But that's really going to depend on what Roger Penske is going to allow him to do, and also the IndyCar schedule, because sometimes an IndyCar race will fall on the same day as the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Then it'll obviously be impossible for him to be able to do both. But Josef Newgarden, it's already been known that he's bugged Roger Penske for years to let him race outside IndyCar. He got those IndyCar championship, got an Indy 500, was able to get this GTP ride, won the Rolex 24, and I guess Joseph is just adding to the leverage that he has. So if he wants to go win Le Mans, if the circumstances are right, it wouldn't surprise me if Roger Penske gives him the green light to go chase that as well. That would just be another amazing feat to add to his legacy already.